welcome to part 7 of the things you need to be asking as a Pilates student to become a Pilates teacher. So this is a video number 7 in the series of 8 videos in total that are going to be discussing what you would be needing to ask to a course provider as a prospective Pilates teacher training student, and all the things you need to be looking out for with regards to the quality of your courses, the structure of your courses, the types of apparatus you're going to be working on, etc, etc. So there are 8 videos in total. This is number 7. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the course structure, what to look for in a course structure, you need to be looking at this particular video over here. If you want to learn a little bit more about the difference between doing an online course and maybe an in-person course, you need to be watching this video over here. They're all very helpful videos to help you make an informed decision about your course. Now, since the pandemic, the Pilates teacher training industry has changed a lot. So a lot has moved online, but it's not to say that everything that is online is actually functional for a Pilates teacher. Why? That's what we're going to be talking about today in this particular video. Now, before I go into that, if you don't know me, my name is Anita Hori. I am second generation Pilates instructor, master teacher and teacher trainer. I'm also a Pilates business coach for all those Pilates teachers who want to live the life of their dreams without any hassle, without any pain, and allowing me to help them to just short circuit right to their pain point and without having to do all that research for nothing. Okay, so this particular video today is going to be talking about what to look for in a comprehensive Pilates course, what you should be covering. So a comprehensive Pilates course should have essentially 5 elements. And since the pandemic, one of the elements has kind of slipped away from many courses. So I'll explain here. First element is course contact hours. So every single Pilates teacher training course should have tactile hours, course contact. So you're there physically in person with your instructor, with fellow students, just to go through each exercise, the essence behind each exercise, and also to see the progressions, the modifications, and the variations on the exercises, to see whether you can do them as intermediate exercise or an advanced exercise, etc, etc. You want to learn a little bit more about that, watch this video over here. It's going to really go through those details. Second thing is observation hours. So you should have an amount of hours during your course where you would have observation hours. So you would be either in studio, so you are observing your own instructor, or perhaps other instructors that have been certified within that school, to just watch what they're doing, to see how they're teaching other classes, and just to give you that feedback, that expertise on this is how you need to be teaching a class, how to structure a class, etc. Now, the observation hours, since the pandemic, for many course providers, for many Pilates teacher training schools, have moved to online. Now, there are 2 amazing platforms, and thanks to Pilates Anytime and Pilatesology, these 2 platforms show you some very decent content to be able to follow through other instructors, to see how they're teaching, and some schools actually accept them as observation hours for their courses. Some schools are super strict, especially if they are the very strict classical schools, where they expect you to be in studio doing their own teacher training, doing their own observation hours. It makes it a little bit more restrictive for you, because that means that you need to be at the studio when there is a class. It means that the class might be running when it's not convenient for you. It might also mean that the level that they're teaching or the class that they're teaching is not something that you're suitable to teach, or you're suited to teach, or maybe you have absolutely no plans in the future to be teaching that kind of class. So it brings about its own restrictions. So moving those modules to online actually helps you as a student. And if your course provider enables you to do that, then kudos to you. Third thing is self-practice. Now, self-practice can be done in-house, that is practicing in the studio with your teacher, taking classes from your teacher, or even taking classes from fellow students. So you could be practicing in your practice hours, you giving the class once. In that case, you would be classed as giving the lesson. And then if your fellow student is going to be giving you the class, that's going to be classed as self-practice. Again, different schools have different analogies on this, different schools have different ideas about this. So you have to check with your course provider as to what really is involved in self-practice. Some course providers do not allow students to take online self-practice. Some course providers are very open to that, and then they know with this day and age things have moved forward, and especially if you have your own apparatus at home, then it's going to help you. Some course providers don't want you to do self-practice with other schools because they fear that you're not going to be learning the same system as they're teaching you. So this is something that is really important for you to clarify with your course provider, just to make sure you're all working from the same page. Next thing is the practice teaching. So practice teaching is essentially what I've just said. If you are practicing with a fellow student and you are the one giving the session, that would class as, if it's an hour, it's 1 hour of practice teaching. Practice teaching could be with fellow students, it could be with friends, with family. It could also be, if you have already got some kind of experience in teaching Pilates, actually teaching clients of the studio you're in, maybe your own clients. All this has to be taken account of. You need to be recording all this so that it can go to your final hours, the total hours, when you come to complete your Pilates certification course. I will be talking about that in a very short while. The other thing to ask about with practice teaching is whether or not your course provider allows you to record yourself teaching a client, and then they'll be able to see whatever you're doing, to look at your videos, to look at your performance. Are they expecting you to go into the studio all the time? Are they expecting you to work within the realms of their framework? Or are they happy for you to teach something else, or maybe something that you've already been familiar with, but take that and as practice hours, as teaching hours, because maybe you're taking some of what you've learned from the course in. This stuff has to all be discussed with your course provider. This is always up to your course provider to decide. These are conditions that they'll give you. Then you have to decide whether there's something that you need to discuss with them or whether you're actually accepting those terms. And the final thing that you need to consider when it comes to the content of your course and what is generally included in the courses, the comprehensive courses, is assisting in a Pilates studio. Now, in the classical world, this is very, very important, and it was important in my times, during my days, and I can see, or I have been seeing, that dwindle down and down with all the different courses that are now available in the industry. So assisting in the studio could involve many things. It could involve you assisting a teacher in the studio. It could be involving you assisting the teacher in teaching a class, maybe spotting specific clients, and maybe it might involve you helping with the maintenance of the studio, helping with checking of the apparatus springs, maybe looking at the cleaning of the studio, whatever it takes for you to undergo your program within the realms or within the requirements of your course provider. So course providers have different requirements when it comes to this studio assist hours. So a decent Pilates comprehensive course will require a minimum of approximately 400 to 500 hours. These are the fully comprehensive courses that will require 400 to 500 hours for you to be able to complete in all these and cover all these aspects of course contact hours, observation, self-practice, teaching, and studio assist, to be able to complete your course and actually get the title of a fully comprehensive teacher. every course provider have their own course content hours, their own guidelines for their course contents for you to be able to complete your Pilates teacher training. My own course is a 600-hour program. It is a rigorous program, and it is accepted by many regulating bodies all over the world. So you're guaranteed to know that with that certification, with that course, you're able to get a job anywhere you want in the world, because it follows the strict guidelines of what used to be the Pilates Method Alliance, and of also what the classical schools required, the intensive training to be able to make sure that you are able to handle different populations and different ages and with different abilities. So it's important that you have an acknowledgement and understanding that when you become a Pilates teacher, it's not just going to be a quick, okay, let's become certified, then start teaching, and then fingers crossed everything will be okay. A fully comprehensive course is given a high standard, and when you look at credentials, when you compare credentials of a Pilates teacher training course and a good Pilates teacher training course with fitness credentials in many countries, you'll see that the comprehensive course ranks quite high when it comes to the knowledge, the experience, and the contact hours that you have with clients to be able to put you out there into the real world. If this gave you a ton of clarity and you found this video helpful, please do hit the like, because that's going to increase the algorithm for other people to be able to view the video, and will be able to reach other people, help other people to find out a little bit more about the Pilates industry and how to become Pilates teachers. Now, if you really love to dive deeper and find out a little bit more about how you can become a Pilates teacher, then I'm your girl, because I have been doing this for decades, and this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I've helped people all over the world to become teachers, to have their own businesses, and to make that dream life that they've always wanted. Now, I live Pilates, I breathe it. This is my passion. I would love to have you check in with me and join me on something super special that I'm going to be doing that nobody else in the industry is offering at this stage. So I would love to invite you to join me on a retreat format to come and join our next teacher training program, which is going to be starting in April 2023 in our Finca retreat on the Costa Blanca in Spain. You will be living, eating, breathing Pilates just as we do. You'll be taking Pilates lessons and tutorials at our Pilates center, which is close by, and you'll be able to really fully immerse yourself in becoming a Pilates teacher. First module starts in April 2023. Check out the information in the description below. Lots and lots of information there for you. And if you can't join us live in our retreat, you're able to join us on a live stream that we're going to be giving out to anyone who's wanting to join us from their homes. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. Of course, it would be so amazing to have you here in Spain, but I understand that logistics maybe sometimes can't help you. So if you're really wanting to join us live, we'll be doing a live stream. It's not going to be recorded. You will be actually live with us. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions. You'll have the opportunity to integrate with the same members of the group. So I would really love to see you there. Just check out the link below. There's more information as well in the same description below. So guys, remember, business is simple. Business is simple. There's no reason why we can't make a life, why we can't make a living from a passion that we have. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. Until my next video, goodbye.